Welcome back, Ducks and Kings fans, to Royally Quacked, where we talk about everything related to the Anaheim Ducks and the Los Angeles Kings, the two NHL teams from Southern California. I'm your co-host, Cody Spink, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Gary Spank. In this episode, we'll recap the latest games, analyze the standings, and preview the upcoming matchups, and talk about the news around the league. Whether you're a fan of the Ducks or the Kings or both, this is the podcast for you. So sit back, relax, and here we go. Now it's trivia time. And it's my turn to ask the question.
Yep.
And this is going to be an overall NHL question. It's not about just the Kings or the Ducks. It's about the whole NHL. Well, you've been doing that too. So I actually have in my hand the 8 top point getters in NHL history.
8,
Okay.
huh?
I got 8, but I only want you to give me 5, but we can go over 8 if you want to.
Okay,
But if you don't get number 1, you're fired from the podcast.
Oh, I'm fired from my own podcast. Got it.
Well, you know you're going to get it. I know
Yes.
if you don't, I think any NHL fan will get this one.
I want. Is it? Wayne Gretzky? Yeah.
Great one.
The great one. He would still have the most points. If he never scored a single goal, he would still have the most points in NHL history.
Yeah. Barely.
But he would. That's crazy.
Yes, he would. You know how many points it was? Have an idea? Guess? Real quick.
2 million.
Great guess.
I want to say it's like 2,100, isn't it? No, 2,800, right?
Close. Very close. 2,857.
Okay.
So who's number 2?
I want to say Super Mario Lemieux.
Wrong.
Oh, he's up there, right?
He's number 8 at 1723. Remember, he had back issues. He missed a lot of games.
All right.
But you know, what's funny is number 2 played with him. There's your hint.
Number 2 played with him. Let's see. Number 2 played with him. It's not Grant Fuhrer, right? No.
How can Grant Fuhrer is a goalkeeper?
Oh, he's a goalie. Oh, that's right. No, that's not what I'm thinking of. Paul Coffey?
It's not an Oiler.
Not an Oiler. Oh,
He played with Lemieux.
He played with Lemieux?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Jágr,
1921.
Oh my God, what was I thinking with the Grant Fuhrer? I was thinking of someone completely different, but okay.
You know, it's funny is neither one of the guys you mentioned, of course, Grant Fuhrer. Maybe 5 points for his whole career. I'm not sure.
Oh, that was so stupid.
But Paul Coffey's not in the top 8, just so you know.
Yeah, he was a defenseman, right?
Yeah.
So I want to say, who else would be up there?
You got it's not any current player, so
I think.
think
Gordie Howe.
There is number 4 at 1850. Okay. If you get the name, I'm going to give you where they're at.
Okay.
This guy won Stanley Cup with 2 different teams. Number 2 or number 3.
Did he play during my lifetime?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't look at his playing career.
Can you tell me at least one of the teams?
New York Rangers.
Oh.
If I gave you the other team, it would be easy.
Messier.
Messier at 1887. Very good. And you got Howe at 1850.
Number 5.
I'll give you a hint on number 5.
Okay.
Because you probably don't have a clue. He's
Probably not.
currently a general manager for one of the teams.
Current. It's not Verbeek. Not Rob
No,
Blake.
no,
Sakic? No, not Sakic. No, he's
no,
not a
Sack.
general manager.
Not
Uh,
anymore. He is currently in the Pacific Division. There's your second hint.
um. Okay, so you got McCrinnon, Verbeek, Blake. Not. It's not
Not
Blake.
not Pacific, Western Conference.
Oh,
My bad.
jeez. All right.
Not in the Pacific.
Thank
The
you.
other division.
Okay, the Central. Okay, so
Oh
you
wait, I take it back. He is in the
you make
Pacific.
up your mind.
I was thinking
Okay,
like
so it's not
when
Mike
you said
Greer.
stacking, I brought up Colorado because that's
Okay,
where he was the GM.
well, okay. So real quick, so I'm just gonna go through all the GMs. You got Mike Greer in San Jose, Rob Blake for the Kings, Verbeek for the Ducks. It's not any of them, right?
Nope,
Okay, for the Vegas, it's Kelly McCrinnon. No,
no,
But, I can't remember his first name, but Alvin is for Vancouver.
nope,
Ken Holland for Ken Holland.
nope,
All right, who's the Calgary?
nope,
Conroy.
nope.
Which team
You're
am I
running out of
missing?
teams.
I have one team left, and I can't even think the last.
Oh, yeah, you gave me a
Oh,
hot
oh,
puck.
oh, crap! I know. Francis, Ron Francis.
Ron Francis, number 5 at
Oh,
1798.
uh, that was bad. Okay. All right. Well, there'll be more worse things to
Six,
talk about later.
yeah, 6 and 7. I'll give you our Marcel Dion, another king. 2 kings in the top 6. Go Kings, go! And number 7 is also a GM,
Eastern or Western?
Eastern.
I don't know. Just tell me.
Steve Eiserman.
Eyes, the eyes are playing. Got it.
There we go. That's trivia. Hey, people, send us questions that we both can be quizzed about and
Yeah.
can share with all of you that
You
you're
can
curious about.
you can
So,
hear my horrible answers.
or mine.
Yeah. Like Grant Fuhr being a top 5 point scorer. Oh, that was
Yeah.
bad. That was bad.
Well,
I don't know what I was thinking.
it's been a tough week this week, Cody, and thank you for making me laugh.
It's been a tough week for you, but we'll talk about that. But all right, we'll go ahead with the King scores for the week. Go ahead.
Okay. First game, our Kings against the New York Islanders, and I predicted a 4-3 win. But we had big save Dave with a shutout with 26 saves. Trevor Moore, our California boy, he had a goal and assist.
Comeback player of the year.
It could be. Philippe Deneau with a goal and Kempe with a goal. And the Kings won 3-0. It might have been their best defensive game of the year. I mean, they looked good. That was such a great game. Then we go to St. Louis. I predicted that we'd lose.
No, you predicted a 6-3
Oh, I
win.
had 3 win. That's right. I predicted a 6-3 win, and we lose 1-3. I don't know. We outshot them 41-30, and I thought we got totally outplayed. How did we outshoot the team by 11 shots and lose? Like that. Turcotte had an assist. Kempe had a goal, but the star of the game, Binnington, he was spectacular. He made some spectacular saves. Then we go to Chicago, and in three games, we get 2 shutouts. I predicted
Lucky you.
I predicted a 5-2 win at Chicago. it was 5-0, and they started off like crazy. I mean, Kopitar had 2 goals, Byfield with 2 assists on those goals, Dubois with a goal and assist. He's actually starting to play like the guy we paid all those guys for. Spence, his first NHL goal. Yay! Way to go, Jordan. And he had an assist. And Lafayette, 1 goal and an assist. He's
LaFerriere.
Laferriere. You know what? These hockey names are. I probably should do a baseball podcast, but then I'd probably screw up those names too. You know, Talbot with it.
Especially those like Colombian players or those those South
Yeah,
American players. Oh, those names are
you
hard to
know,
say.
those tongue twisting names have never been a easy thing for me to say. And Talbot had a
Yeah.
shutout in that game of 28 saves with 4 assists from the goalposts. I was listening to the game. I want to say it was 3 in one period, and I could hear the ding on the radio that hit the posts.
Oh wow. He had there was 4
Yeah,
shots that
20.
hit the
No,
post.
yeah, hit the post. So
Oh
those are,
man.
and those aren't on goal.
No, I know.
They don't count towards that 28 saves. So I mean, we had some
Does
luck there, but that does happen. It happens to everybody where the goalposts save you.
does Talbot do the same thing as Fleury, where every time Fleury there's a post shot, he'll like thank the goalpost.
Well, you know what? I can't remember the goalie that said it, but they go, well, it wasn't on net, so I didn't have to save it.
Yeah.
You think about that, it's probably true.
Yeah.
So it's like every other game we're good. But on the next game, guys, my prediction came perfect. I said a 4-1 win for Dallas. It was a 4-1 win for Dallas. Fiala had a goal, Dubois with another assist. And I thought Riddick played a pretty good game. 25 saves on 29 shots. But here's the thing, guys. If you haven't figured this one out, the Stars have our number. Sometimes you just don't play well against a team. And they not necessarily are they always a better team. They just have your number. So
Yeah.
anyways, those are the Kings scores of the week. Now we'll go to the Ducks scores of the week for all this exciting news. Here's Cody.
Do we have to talk about the Duck scores of the week?
It's a podcast about both teams. Yes.
Okay. Well, this was so the first game, the Ducks were in Chicago. I predicted a 5-2 win, because the
What were
Blackhawks
you
are very.
thinking? What were
Oh,
you
God.
thinking?
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is just bad. And the Ducks end up losing, God, 7-2. That was had to have been one of the most embarrassing games I've seen for sure. The
I think Bedard had more points than the whole Duck team, didn't he? He had a goal
yeah,
and 4 assists, right?
yeah, he had 5 points in that game. That's ridiculous.
He's still a
But
teenager. Oh my god.
yeah, I know. But I would say the only bright spot of this, or actually, well, there's I would say two bright spots. First one being Brett Leeson with the 2 goals. One shorthanded and one on even 5-on-5. Fowler and Vakanainen each had 1 assist, and I believe the other, I forgot which goal it was. It was unassisted, I believe. Gibson had 20 saves on 26 shots, and Dostal had 4 saves on 5 shots. And I'll get to why Dostal had to come in a second. Guys, we had a total of 12 penalties and 43 minutes worth of penalties. I get that, the majority of it was probably because of what happened towards the end of the game, but still, that's too much.
That's 2 periods and plus 3 minutes into the third period of
Yeah.
penalties. You can't win when you're always on the penalty kill.
Yeah. The Ducks gave up 4 power play goals on 6 chances. Guys, that is horrible. Horrible. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the Ducks actually have a new store, and it's a bakery. It's called Turnovers, and they're
I
just giving
I like
everything away.
I like the cherry ones.
Well, the way the Ducks are playing, they're giving everything away with a whipped cream and a cherry on top for them. It's been bad. And the only other bright spot about this game was what towards the middle of the third period when that whole fight broke out and everything. And I've had my issues with the refs this year, but you know, I don't agree with one of the like how one goalie can get in trouble and the other one can't. And I understand why Gibson um got kicked out of the game. So I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but in the middle of the third period, there was a huge scrum and behind the Blackhawks net. Gudis got into it with a player. Minty just broke some dude's nose, which made me laugh because I don't think the guy realized that Minty's Russian, and he played in the OHL, and I think they allow fighting in the OHL. So Minty can hold his own, and he man, that was great. I love that, and then so Gudis is just I forgot what player he was fighting against, but Gudis just easily won the fight. And then so when there's a fight like that, the rule is goalies are supposed to stay in the crease or go away from the play. And after Gudis finished off the Blackhawks player, you know what Mrazek does? He goes after Gudis. He's the third man in, and that's a penalty. And that's I would say an instigating penalty. And he should have gotten an extra 10 for that. And because since Mrazek left his crease, went after Gudis, you think Gibson's gonna just stand there and let the other team's goalie go after his own players? No. Gibby, God, please, refs, just let Gibby just go after someone. Please. That's all I ask. I want a goalie fight. And I think there's no other goalie in the league that deserves to just mess up someone than Gibson right now. What he's had to go through the last few years, all the stupid trade rumors and everything like that, saying that Gibson's played his last game in Anaheim and yet he's still here. Just let him off the leash and just let him have his fun. And I'm pretty sure all will be right in the world. But like I said, Gibson deserved to be kicked out. He crossed the red line. He went out there. I agree with that. No problem. But if Mrazek doesn't leave his crease and go after Gudis, the fight's done. It's over. So that's why I think Mrazek should have got an instigator for doing that, because he instigated more fighting when it was already done.
So you remember the Ducks King game last year?
God, the refs just, like I said, it was Gibson too.
Well, I think Copley got a game misconduct because he used his blocker to punch a guy. That one.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Who was at the red line banging their stick, wanting to fight?
Just
It
let
was
him off the
Gibson, right?
leash.
Yes. Now, if Copley would have gone out and fought him, who was the instigator on that one?
Gibson. And honestly, I would have been okay. Like, I don't understand.
It would have been a goalie fight.
Yes, and we were there, and I was so excited. But I don't understand why the refs stopped the goalies from fighting. I really don't understand it, because they got all that padding. It's not going to be a good fight.
But they didn't stop them.
No, they stopped him. They stopped Gibson before he even got out there.
Halfway point, we were there. He was kept banging his stick. The problem.
No, but they stopped him before he even got down there.
Well, that's because Copley hit the guy with his blocker, and that's a game misconduct, not a.
Oh yeah.
10-minute misconduct. He got kicked,
Yeah.
and that was like in the first period, if I want to remember right, and he kicked him out.
Was it the first? I want to say it was like the second or third. I can't remember. That was last year. But like I said, let Gibson off the leash. Just let him. You know, like I said, Gibson crossed the red line. He left his crease. I understand him getting booted. Because I think he got a 10 misconduct for crossing. I understand. I get that. I'm not complaining with that. But Mrazek caused more fighting, which is instigating. So that's why I think Mrazek should have been kicked for just like a 10-minute misconduct, which would have kicked him out. But
Yeah.
that's honestly, like, I think
But
the refs have just had it for the Ducks this year, in my
was
opinion.
Christina watching?
No, this was during the work week. She
So
would have loved it.
Co- Cody's wife, when they first met, had not a clue what hockey was about. You
Well,
take
she
her
knew a
to
little bit.
when she goes to the game. She's a true chick hockey fan, man. She wants violence. She gets angry if
She
they don't let them fight. It is hilarious, to be honest with you. I just sit there and watch her and laugh.
I remember, I think the first game a fight broke out, and I just hear, "Yeah, go and beep 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 beep. Yeah, mess him up, beep 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 beep." And I'm just like, I love this woman. So, and loved it. But all right, we'll go on to the next game, guys. This game was, I think the Ducks played better in this game than they've had lately. Um, so they were in Minnesota and they lost 2-0, and I predicted a 4-3 overtime loss. The Ducks continue to struggle. That's now their fourth game in a row they've lost. Um, Again, guys, 16 shots on goal. That's not very good. Dolstall looked great, guys. 29 saves on 31 shots. I don't blame him for the loss at all. The Ducks did score, but it got called back due to Regenda being offside, and it was offside. It was a quick replay, really quick, and I saw it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's offside. You know, you know, um, but like, it really wasn't else much to this game. At least we didn't give up 4 or 5 power play goals like we have on like the next 2 games. But the next game, of course, we play Winnipeg in Winnipeg, and the Ducks get, or actually, or here I have the goals get blanked again, because in this game, guys, we had no Carlson, no Zegras, no Gudis, and no McTavish, and no Max Jones. Oh, and actually, in the last game, Gudis and McTavish both got hurt. Yay. Gibson had 32 saves on 38 shots. Again, guys, 3 power play goals against. Again, the Jets were perfect on the power play. I know you see it on the notes here, but you know, each minor penalty is 2 minutes long, right? Dad?
Yeah,
Yeah. The the
I
the,
thought that
the
was a
Jets.
given.
Oh yeah, I'm talking to you, but it's all right. Um, but the Jets only had a total of 3 minutes and 25 seconds on the power play, not
Scored
six
quick,
minutes.
did they? Yeah, they
Yeah, they
scored
scored
quick.
quick. They
Yeah.
scored quick.
Yeah, you know
You
what?
know,
But the Jets are one of the 3 teams competing up in the Central.
yeah. There
I mean,
was,
with Colorado and Dallas. Man, that's 3 tough teams. I mean, Winnipeg, they're scary to me,
yeah,
just like Dallas is. I think I'd rather play Colorado than either one of those teams because I don't think Colorado plays as good a defense as they do. So
yeah.
we
I
can score.
understand.
Other teams can score goals, but man, that when the Jets and the Dallas have their game going, they just dominate it.
Yeah,
So
like in this game, like the Ducks didn't play bad. There were some just unlucky bounces. Like I think on one of them, I can't remember which goal it was. It literally The guy shot it. It went off one defender's skate, or no, it went off his knee, hit another Ducks player's skate, and then went in. It was like literally like pinball. Didn't it didn't touch any other Jets player. The guy shot it, went bing bing, goal. It was just there was nothing Gibson could have done about that shot. You know,
I don't know. I watched the Kings game yesterday, and the puck went behind the net, landed on the net, hit Riddick in the back, and went in the net.
oh wow,
That was, I mean, I didn't even think to say that was a bad bounce, but because we 4-1, 3-1, what's the difference? We still
yeah,
lost. But I mean, how often do you see a bounce off the net, then hit him in the shoulder, kind of hang there? Seemed like for 30 seconds, it was probably a second, and then it just kind of slides into the net because they weren't sure
yeah,
because the guy swung his puck right near it and
yeah,
he never touched it. And that one might have been over the shoulder. So,
yeah.
anyways,
But like the last thing, and this is like one of the calls that piss me off the most is I don't understand the last penalty called against the Ducks in that game where the Jets player he slashed the Ducks stick and the Jets player's stick broke and they called it against the Ducks. I can't remember which Jets player, but he slashed the Ducks player's stick. But since his stick broke, they called it against the Ducks. And the worst part was, what's the point of making that call? The Ducks are already down 5-0 with less than 2 minutes left, and you're going to give one of the best teams in the league a freaking power play over one of the worst teams in the league when they're already winning 5-0. It was point it, I and they like I said, I'm gonna just be quiet about the refs right now, but it's God, it's been so inconsistent.
there's a whistle. I just heard it. It said, this is the announcer's announcement. Cody Spink in the box, 2 minutes, unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, right. Bite me. I'll take that. It sounds about right. The Ducks get called for everything, but and then the game that we literally I finished watching, the Ducks were in St. Louis and lost 4-2. It was a pretty good game until the third period, guys. But 3 penalties in the first period, guys. We can't be doing that. That's too many penalties. And the only thing I don't like is, like I said, again with the refs, a couple of the calls I do agree with. Like I said, some of them were penalties, but all I ask is if you call those kind of penalties on the Ducks, call them for the other team. There was a couple trips that I saw that were completely blatant. No, keep skating. But as soon as the Ducks do it, no penalty. But there is something I do want to talk about, and Fowler hasn't had the best. Actually, no, it's actually not even about Fowler. But so on the third penalty, Fowler got his stick broken on a blocked shot, and then so Silverberg, who's this is more good on Silverberg, smart player, gave his stick to Fowler because it's more important for a defenseman to have a stick than a forward on a penalty kill. And Silverberg just he just pretty much shadowed Robert Thomas the whole time, and then it literally just you take away the team's best player in the power
Smart,
play.
played smart hockey.
And you want to know why that's smart? Because in the third period, Robert Thomas had 2 power play goals.
Good player.
Yeah, no, my fantasy team is loving it right now because I have Robert Thomas on my team. So yay! But Troy Terry had both goals in this game. Minty and Lacombe with assist on the first goal. Killorn and Carlson. Oh yay, Carlson's back! Yay! And he looked good. He really did. But yeah, Killorn and Carlson each had assist on the second goal. And guys, another game giving up 3 power play goals. This is just bad. I want to say what last week we gave up was see 4, 3, 3, so 10 power play goals. I didn't even check. the Minnesota game. I don't think any of those were power play goals, but still, in 4 games, 10 power play goals. That's bad. And that's just 1 week of games. Oh God, it's all right. Let's move on to better things now. So at least I got that over with.
Game predictions.
Game predictions.
Okay, we're gonna do the Kings on Tuesday on March 19th. They're playing against Chicago, the Bedards,
The
and
Bedards.
they beat them 5-0 last time, but I don't think they're going to shut out Bedard this game. I think they're going to win that game 6-2. I think Byfield's going to score a couple of goals in that game, maybe an assist. I'm honestly believe he's becoming their best player. He may not be the leading scorer, but he's doing all the work. He works hard. He's fun to watch. And all you doubters the last few years with that second pick in the draft, he's going to make you eat your words. Hopefully he stays healthy because that's one thing none of these players are ever guaranteed. But I think he's going to be a perennial all-star here in a few years.
Yeah,
And
easily.
then back to back, we play Minnesota. Now, just like the Kings, the Minnesota is one of those teams that's, it's like that funny cartoon where they're running up and down the hills. That's both these teams. So it depends on who's playing. I think it's going to be both teams are going to score. And I think I'm predicting the Kings to win 5-4 in regulation. Please don't prove me wrong, Kings. And then on Saturday, so then, back to back, and then we don't play till Saturday, and we play the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm predicting that we give them a good game, but we lose in a shootout. Like I said, I want to predict every one I win, but I'm trying to be honest with my predictions. And honestly, sometimes I'm terrible at these, and you guys have seen it. But that's what I think is going to happen. So, anyways, now we're going to move on to Duck predictions.
All right, guys. So on Tuesday, we are home against the Minnesota Wild.
I'm sorry. And I just saw his prediction on Thursday. You're gonna get a laugh with me on this one. Go ahead, Cody. Sorry.
So literally when he was doing his predictions, I forgot to do mine again. I was gonna wing it, but I was like, oh, I'll just do it real quick, and that's why he's laughing about it now. But so on Tuesday we played the Minnesota Wild at home, and I'm gonna predict a 3-2 loss. So sadly, it's gonna be 6 games in a row. I believe 6 in a row for losing, but tank hard. Tank hard. And then on Thursday, the Ducks play the Chicago Bedards, and I'm predicting a 10-0 win, guys. 10-0. No, I'm just kidding. I would love to have a 10-0 win against Chicago. Oh, and I it's funny. I forgot to mention, and we talked about it earlier this week about that Chicago game, but I was listening to the game. I didn't realize after hearing 7 goal songs for Chicago, it gave me severe PTSD from 2013 and 15. Those Ducks Blackhawks series and everything, and the Blackhawks coming back and beating the Ducks in both those series, and it just gave me severe PTSD just hearing that stupid goal song. And I think I literally had a nightmare just hearing that song that night too. I just hear da 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 da. I was like, just yeah. But realistically, I want a 5-1 win on Thursday. I want the Ducks to make a statement. I want, after that big old brawl, carry that over into this game and just whoop on the Bedards, guys. I don't want to see a Bedard with not even a point that game. I want him to be shut out. That's what I want. And then we play Tampa Bay on Sunday at home. Tampa Bay's, they're good. and they always have the Ducks number. So I'm gonna go with a 5-2 loss in that game, in that one, guys. And we will be back after this message, after this ad read.
Hey, Ducks and Kings fans. I'm Cody's wife, Christina.
And I'm Becca, and we are Buried in Romance Book Club.
We wanted to reach out to our listeners to let you know that we have collaborated with author Claire Contreras on a special edition cover of her book, Because You're Mine, a mafia romance novel.
Our special edition is now available to purchase until March 31st. You can find us on our Instagram and Facebook at Buried in Romance.
All right, guys, and now we're back, and we're going to do a quick recap of the playoff standings. You want to go over the Eastern Conference real quick?
Sure. So we still got Boston number one with the Rangers.
Boston's now number one. Last week it was the Panthers. Wow.
Yeah, it's only by a point.
Yeah.
And then you have the Rangers and the Metro, they're number one. But Florida and the Rangers have the exact same record. So they're actually tied. And you know who's coming up, right? Carolina Hurricanes. They're looking good. They really are. I a lot of people believe they might be at the top, be the number one seed in the East by the end of the season. And it's a big possibility because they were just underperforming early in the season, and they're doing pretty well. And then you got Toronto, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia's still there, but Detroit has jumped into the playoff part. They're the 8th seed. So
and it was not looking good for Detroit. After last week, I think they lost. I think they were in the playoff picture last week, but I think they lost like 7 in a row. And then the Islanders took over, and now then the Capitals took over, and then now it's Detroit again. And that last spot's going to be interesting.
Yeah, well, Washington's right there. Pittsburgh's only 4 points. Even Buffalo, who's had a rough season, is only 4 points out of the picture. Now, of course, there's some games in hand there, people. So, looking strong. Washington's looking strong because they got 2 games in hand on both Philadelphia and Detroit. So if they were to win those games, they would actually jump over both Philadelphia and Detroit into be 7th place.
Yeah.
And just the best they can do is 7th place in those 2 games. But other than that, that's what the playoff picture looks like in the East. And you want to do the Western Conference?
I'll do the Western Conference. So things are getting pretty steamy here in the Central. Each team has 91 points. Winnipeg, Colorado, and Dallas each have 91 points.
Yeah, but Winnipeg has games in hand.
Yes, Winnipeg has played 67 games. Colorado has played 68 games, and Dallas has played 69 games. Nice. But yeah, each team has 91 points, but that's why you see Winnipeg in the number 1 spot is because they have more games in hand. And then you got Vancouver still leading the way in the Pacific with 92 points. I think they're going to run away with the Pacific. And then you got the Oilers in second with 84 points, and then the LA Kings in third with 79 points. But the Golden Knights also have 79 points. So I think the Kings have the tiebreaker right now. So that could switch at any moment.
Yeah, that could.
Yeah.
And St. Louis is right there.
Yeah. And especially since St. Louis just got another 2 points tonight. But, and then Nashville's still staying hot, guys. They're 8-0-2 in their last 10 games, and they're in the number 1 wild card spot right now with 82 points. I think they cemented their spot right now for the playoffs pretty much. I think they're going to be in no matter what. For the Kings and Knights, it's just who's going to be in the Pacific spot and who's going to be in the wild card spot, because Would you rather play Edmonton or would you rather play Vancouver or Winnipeg? Possibly. It kind of just depends on who's the number one in the West at that time. So, yeah, but St. Louis is right there, and then so I wanted to talk about this later, but you saw what the Wild did last week, right?
Yes.
Guys,
We're talking in overtime, right?
Yeah, so when Minnesota played Nashville, I think it was either Sunday or Monday, I can't remember. I think it was Sunday, but I didn't see it because I think we were recording the episode, or I was watching the Ducks game last week. But so last week, Minnesota was playing Nashville, and they were in overtime. And Minnesota in overtime pulled their goalie to make it a 4-on-3 extra man, pretty much. And I didn't know this rule, and I just found out that if you pull your goalie in overtime and there's no delayed penalty or anything like that, if the other team scores, you don't get the loser point, is what they call it. So you don't get the overtime loss point. So that was a pretty ballsy move by John Hines there in Minnesota.
Wow.
Because I don't think the Wild players knew that, because I'm pretty sure if Matt Boldy knew that rule, I don't think he would have made that shot. But because honestly, if I knew the rule, I'm like, I'm not going to be the one to miss the shot. But Matt Boldy ended up scoring, and they got the overtime win because of that. So, like I said, bold move, and I like it.
I love the way you just jump right over all the other news to go to the news that's later, but that's okay.
I know. But we're talking about the playoffs and everything like that. So, but that's one less thing we got to talk about later.
Well, once we get to the playoffs, there is no 3-on-3 overtime.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So now we're gonna go into Ducks news. So last week they had, I think they changed the name every year. Last year was like the pancake breakfast. This year was like the migration event for the Ducks season ticket holders. And unfortunately, I'm not a season ticket holder. I don't have the time or the money for that. But from what Verbeek said was Verbeek and his former management team really wanted Ben Myers in Detroit. So when Verbeek was the assistant GM with Yzerman, I guess they really wanted Ben Myers. So I think that's why he went out and got Ben Myers during the trade deadline.
Interesting.
And then we already know Zellweger's been up with the Ducks lately, and Verbeek said that he'll stay in the NHL for the rest of the season. So good, and I'm happy about that. He deserves to be up in the NHL. He's been actually, I think, probably one of their best defensemen right now. Him and Gudis, I think, have been the top two defensemen. And then Verbeek doesn't think this team will be a seller anymore. He said, now is the time to take a step and begin the push for the playoffs. Love that. So hopefully next year we're not selling. We're going to be pushing. And like I said, I think we're out of the rebuild. Now we're towards the next step. And I like that. Verbeek says he is very happy with the progress this season and how the culture in Anaheim is changing. Which, when you get a different coach and different outlook and everything like that, everything should be helping. And then the next thing, the Ducks are going to be signing both Sam Colangelo and Cutter Gauthier after their college seasons. So for that one, it kind of depends on when their college season ends. I think Sam Colangelo is going to end sooner, I believe. I think he's at Eastern Michigan, I want to say. So, and I don't think they're going to be in the Final Four thing. So I think he'll probably sign and either play with the Gulls or Ducks. I'm hoping the Ducks. I kind of want to see what he does, because he's looked good after he transferred to I think Eastern Michigan. And then Cutter Gauthier, it kind of also depends on his, but it doesn't help that he's on one of the best NCAA hockey teams this year. Boston he's at Boston College. So, and I think they're like a top 3 team right now. So it all depends on when they get eliminated. If they go all the way to the Final Four, we'll probably see Gauthier for maybe 1 or 2 games, if that. And then the next thing, Verbeek is not looking to trade any vets over the offseason unless someone offers him a deal that he simply can't pass up. Again, like that. And then the other 2 things is for the Ducks' biggest need is to get more production from the bottom 6. Expect Verbeek to focus on that over the offseason. And he's also looking to sign a top 6 right winger in the offseason. So, again, that's stuff you want to hear as a Ducks fan. That our GM is looking to build this team for the playoffs next year. Like I said, this is what we've been waiting for, Ducks fans. We really have been waiting for this. So the next bit of news is, I know this is kind of late, but the Ducks did offer the Rangers a couple weeks before the deadline Adam Henrique and Vetrano, I think both at 50% retained for Capo Caco and a first-round pick, like kind of like how we predicted. And Rangers are like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. So that was one of the trades that that Verbeek offered to the Rangers. And then this is the one thing that does have me kind of annoyed with the coaching staff is, why did the Ducks only bench Zegras this year for turning over the puck and making bad plays when all other players are continuously making turnovers and nobody else is getting benched? That's I get Zegras is the hot dog player, or what they call it, but like I said, why is he the only one getting benched?
He's the Michigan man.
Yeah, but he's the only one. Like, McTavish makes turnovers. Terry not as much, but Fowler, Vetrano, everyone's making the same exact turnovers, but nobody else is getting benched because of it. It was only Zegras.
Well, he's hardly played, so
yeah, but
hopefully he's going to come back. He's going to be on fire.
And then the next thing I'm a little annoyed with is the power play units and the extra man opportunities. Like in the game, I think it was against the Wild. Why the hell is Ross Johnston out there for an extra man opportunity? So I'm going to read you the power play units, Dad. Who would you rather have as your power play 1? So you got Killorn, Strome, Silverberg, Fowler, and Vetrano. That's the first one. The second one is Lundestrom, McTavish, Terry, and Zellweger. Which one would you rather have start?
The second one.
Yeah. But you know who's starting? No, the Fowler one. Like I said, guys, there's how many games do we have left? We're at 68, so we're at 14 games left. Why don't we let the kids take over the power play unit? Have Zellweger at one of them and Minty at the other. Let them. Valor doesn't need to be on the power play anymore. Let Minty and Zellweger be the power play quarterbacks for each of them. Fowler should not be the power play 1 quarterback. He should not. And I know McTavish is hurt now, and we do have Carlson back. I didn't see. I can't remember which power play units they had today. I can't really remember. But like I said, why not have Zellweger, Terry, Carlson, Killorn, and see who would be a better fit?
Lundestrom.
And have Lundestrom park in front of the. Actually, no. Sorry, I would
Vetrano?
do Terry behind. No, I would do Terry behind the net. Leo Carlson on one half wall, McTavish on the other when he's healthy, Killorn in the middle, and then Zellweger quarterback. Boom. Man, I got a tickle in my throat. Woo. But that's what I have for the Ducks news. So now we'll go on to the Kings news.
Okay. I'm not sure I'll be as long-winded as Cody was. But Kings news. We have we sent Clark back to the Reign. I don't know. Do you guys agree with that? And then the inconsistency has been haunting them. The Kings. They're good. They're bad. They're good. They're bad. It kind of drives me crazy. So we need to find consistency. And I think I've heard it a number of times from, Jesse Cohen over on All the King's Men, that's part of the problem we have is we're not consistent, and we need to be consistent. And what do you guys think? Are we good enough to win the cup? This is a big thought there. And do you guys believe Hiller's the answer as the coach? I mean, it's just a question. I mean, obviously, I think they've played better since Hiller's came in. But man, boy, that guy moves them around like crazy. And I don't know. I guess maybe that throws everybody else's game plan off. So, but, I want to know what you guys think. Again, I think I've asked the question about you. You guys are Rob Blake. What are you going to do? I mean, we got a lot of choices to make in the offseason because change is coming one way or another because we're just not cap friendly right now. You got Roy coming up, and he's due a raise. He's played good enough to get a raise, So, and then Arvidsson, who we've hardly seen this year, is unrestricted free agent, and we got to pay Byfield. We're gonna have there's a couple others that are restricted free agents that we'll need to sign. So, what are we gonna do? What do you guys think? Let us know. Send us something on Instagram.
Yeah.
We want
Feel
to
free
know.
to ask. Feel free to ask us questions.
Absolutely. So that's it for the Kings news with me this week. Next week I want to.
Mine.
Well, I'd say I'm frustrated.
You're frustrated.
We looked so good at the beginning of the year. It looked like we were unbeatable, and it's just, I can't figure out why we can outshoot somebody 25% more shots and lose 4-1. How does that happen?
Yeah.
But I guess we could go on to league news, which our first bullet point has been touched on.
Yeah. Sorry.
that was the Wild pulling the goalie.
Yeah.
Cody and I talked about that during the week. I didn't even know it happened because I noticed the game, but I didn't notice how it had happened, and told me about it. And I had no idea if you pull the goalie in overtime, 3-on-3 overtime, and you lose, you don't get a point. I was shocked by that.
That's crazy.
Are you guys shocked? I mean, okay. So when we went to that Kings and Ducks game last year, did you know if a goalie punches with his blocker, he's out of the game? It's a game misconduct.
Now, I don't know if you noticed.
It hadn't happened in 7 years.
Okay.
I looked it up after that game. 7 years that play had not happened.
I don't know if you saw, but in the Ducks Blackhawks game when Gibson went down, you notice he didn't have his blocker with him.
Well, no, I didn't. I haven't even seen the whole skirmish.
But so here's one that I'm interested in what you think. So Linus Ullmark almost got traded during the deadline. Do you know who he almost got traded to?
The Kings, I think. That's what
It
I
was,
heard.
yeah. He apparently there was a deal in place for Olmark to become a king, but
For who?
since they didn't say who or like what the trade was. What the report was, Olmark almost there was a deal in place for Olmark to go to the Kings, and since Olmark has a 16 team no trade no trade, and I believe the Kings are on that list. I think it's for like tax purposes, from what I've heard.
Oh, yeah. Who'd want to play here with the taxes
Yeah,
we have in California? It's
I
crazy,
don't
that's for
I
sure.
don't blame him. He's losing like over half his salary pretty much just coming to Cali, but um and then so the red
Yeah, this is a funny one because it doesn't really fit because they're still there.
well but when I put it in there they were, but another thing about it is ever since I guess they put like a sponsor on their jerseys in the middle of the season in the first in that was a 8 game losing streak they had, all started the game they first put that sponsor patch on, and it's like a garbage company apparently in Detroit. It's so funny
Yeah,
they put a garbage company sponsor on their jersey, and then all of a sudden they become trash.
you know what that makes me think of?
Hmm.
What was it? The third Mighty Duck movie where they're at that school.
Oh, Eden Hall,
Clean it.
clean up the
Yeah,
trash.
cleaning out the trash.
Yeah, and then
Sorry.
no, that's a good analogy right there. But so the NHL announced the Global Series games for next year. I have it right here. So the Buffalo Sabres on September 27th, 2024 will play the Red Bull Munich team at the SAP Garden in Munich. I believe that's just like just a friendly game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Buffalo Sabres and the New Jersey Devils will play on was October 4th and 5th at the O2 Arena in Czechia, Prague.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the next one is the Dallas Stars and the Florida Panthers on November 1st and 2nd will play at the Nokia Arena in Temporary. I don't know I can't remember where that is at the top of my head.
Temporary?
But Temporary. I can't remember at the top of my head right now. You look it up.
I'm trying to.
Let's see if I can pull it.
You threw me a curve.
You said you could hit the fastball, so I thought I'd throw you a curve.
Well, yeah, because I couldn't hit the curve, dude. That's why I played
Exactly.
basketball. That's why I played basketball in high school and gave up baseball.
Is it Temporary?
Global Series. Here it is.
I found this on the NHL Europe thing
Okay.
on Instagram.
Go ahead.
No, that's let's see if I could. It doesn't say where. I'm just trying to find Temporary. I don't know. It doesn't say anything, but we'll move on.
Okay.
So I know I just literally put this in the notes, but you heard about what this Russian goalie did? When was this? Was it March 17th? I don't know if that was that date or March 16th. So this goalie named Artemy Pleshkov. You want to know how many saves he had in a playoff? Was it a playoff game? Yeah, playoff game. You want to guess how many he saved?
98.
No, more.
That was
I'll give
in
you.
that was in Division 3 hockey. There was 98 saves. I
Yeah,
saw that. I
this
didn't
one
think to
is.
put that in our notes though.
This one was Russian second division league playoffs. The VHL, which is I guess the 13th ranked best league in the world according to the global league rankings. But I'll give you two more guesses. Guess how many saves this guy made in one game?
So I was not even close at
Nope,
103.
not even 103 more. I'll give you a hint.
100,
They played
145.
less than that, but he made 124 saves out of 125 shots in a 5 overtime game, and his team was eliminated in a 1-0 loss.
What did the other guy? How many saves did he have?
Obviously not that. It doesn't say, but
obviously it wasn't 124 saves.
Obviously it was not, but I was like, 100, man, that team owes this guy a nice steak dinner to keep them even going. In 5 overtime, that's you almost playing 3 full games almost.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, you have anything else?
I don't think I do this time.
And let me double check to see if anyone sent any questions. Last time I checked, we didn't have any questions, and
somebody send us some questions, please.
Yeah, please.
Well, we had 2 last week, so that was nice. But it was your mom was one of them.
Hey, we got a question, so but no questions this week. So guys, please feel free to send us a message. You could DM either me on Instagram or the Instagram account at Royally Quacked. So since we have no questions, I guess we'll end the episode. So you want to take it out, or you want me to take it out?
You want to do the whole thing, or you want to do half and half?
We're still recording, right?
I don't care.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll keep it in. All right. Okay. You take it, and then I'll finish it.
Okay. That's all for this episode of Royally Quacked. Thank you for listening and supporting us. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a rating and a review on your favorite podcast platform. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram at Royally Quacked to get the latest updates and interact with us.
We would love to hear your feedback, guys. Questions, suggestions, and let us know, are you Team Royal or are you Team Quack? So until next time,
guys. Or are you both?
Or are you both? Or are you Team Royally Quacked?
There we go. I'm Royally Quacked.
Yeah. So guys, until next time. So guys, until next time, this is Cody.
And Gary signing off.
And just remember, guys, go Ducks.
Go Kings, go. We'll be talking to you next week, guys. Thanks.